The world owes Frank Ocean an apology. Let me explain. Frank's 2023 Coachella performance is the perfect example of you don't know what you have until it's gone. Because ever since Coachella 2023, silence. No new album, no official singles, just a few snippets getting released and a couple of questionable jewelry products. As a quick little flex, I do have a first edition Homer magazine. I genuinely believe the response from that night is why we have not heard from Frank in a while. Here's a little bit of context for those that don't know the story. In the year of 2023, Frank Ocean was a headliner for Coachella. And this was special because it had been 8 years since we had seen Frank on a major stage in the US. It had also been about 8 years since the release of Blonde and Endless. But after the release of these projects, there was no rollouts, no interviews, no clear indication of new music. The only hint at the time was a possibility of an album called Look At Us, We're in Love, but as we all know, that didn't happen. So the level of anticipation was unmatched when it came to seeing Frank Ocean's name on a Coachella list. No one really knew what to expect that night, but that's what made it special. The day of the festival finally comes and it's showtime. Everybody's ready to see Frank. It had been scheduled for Frank to start at 10:05 and everybody was rushing there to make it, just in time. Everyone was excited and happy to see Frank after it's been so long, and then somebody finally looked down at their watch and it was 11 o'clock. Seeing that it had been 57 minutes past the start time, everybody was wondering, where's Frank? People were already suspect of something because YouTube had announced that Coachella would not be live streaming Frank's set. But out of nowhere, groups of ice skaters started coming out to a recording studio inspired stage, right? But the ice skaters weren't skating, they were walking. Keep that in mind. As the ice skaters were walking across the stage, fans started to hear a rendition of a song that they've heard before. He starts to show off with a punk rock rendition of Novocaine. Novocaine! Already giving us a new fresh version of himself. There was still no clear sign of Frank. He even plays a song that you can't even find online called Come On World You Can't Go. It was debuted on Blonde Radio. We even get songs from his debut projects such as Back Rock, Bad Religion, and a different version of White Ferrari that will be important later to the story. There's even a point in time where Frank covers the song Nightlife and has a stunt double as his place. This younger version of Frank was played by Josiah, aka Cozart Tech. Now you're probably thinking to yourself, Ren, this sounds like a great show. Why was everybody talking bad about it? Well, the shift happens when people realize that Frank wasn't really there or in the light. Yes, he was there, but it kind of seemed like he didn't want to be the main focus of the show. Even having a whole section dedicated to DJ Crystal Mess. Many people started questioning the performance, thinking, is this a scam? And after ending the show due to curfew, people were convinced they had been scammed. I mean, the truth is, that wasn't even the original show. As a lot of people may know, the original show had an ice skating ring, and Frank had hired a couple LA hockey players to, ice skate. But sadly, before the show, Frank would break an ankle, no pun intended. Due to not being able to skate, Frank had to scrap the whole ice skating ring, hence the ice skaters walking in the beginning. But sadly, this wouldn't be the only issue. In the middle of the show, Frank would give a speech talking about how he would always go to Coachella with his brother. This would be Frank's first Coachella without his brother, who had passed away 3 years before this. This night wasn't just a set, it was grief, it was pressure, expectations meeting humanity. The special version of White Ferrari that I mentioned earlier that Frank played was special because it was the version that Ryan loved the most. And ever since that night, no album, no big return, just silence. Maybe all the harsh responses confirm something for him. That vulnerability isn't always met with grace. We don't know when Frank's coming back, but you really don't realize what you had until it's gone. But if you like this video, don't forget to like, follow, and comment down below.